Hey guys, it's Phil. This is a tutorial video. I haven't done one of these before, I don't think, or not at least to this kind of level, but this will be how I do my autumn bases. Whenever I post pictures of my Sylvaneth online, wherever it is, people always ask me, how do you do those bases? So what I wanted to do was do a nice little quick tutorial on how exactly I do these. You'll have to forgive me because I'm filming with the camera slightly upside down, so I'm going to have to try and wing it as to whether I'm holding things the right way up for you. So forgive me if anything's the wrong way up and it's hard to see what I'm doing, but hopefully you can see with this camera angle. So as you can see here, I'm using a regular old square Warhammer Fantasy style base, mainly because this is one I've got spare because everything I use now is on rounds, so I can afford to just play around with this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what I do for this first step, and then I'll come back. It'll either be the second video or a second half of this video. I haven't decided yet as to whether I do the painting side and sticking all the cool extras down, but you'll see as we go. So for the first step, this is the Unpainted Stage, which I tend to do before priming. Normally I'll stick the model on and then do the base to this level as per this part of the video, and then I'll prime the model so it's all kind of good to go, ready for painting. But in this case, because it is just a base, I'm just going to roll ahead and do that. So what I'd say is get yourself a little palette of some kind and just squeeze in a bit of Pva Glue. So this is what you use to stick most of your gubbins down with, standard white glue. And you want an old brush. I use this battered old one here. This has been used for years and years for glue, so that's what that is. And the first thing we're going to use is Battlefeild Rocks. These are from the Army Painter, and these are really cool. They're basically like pieces of cork which have been chopped up into these small rocks. They're very, very light, so we use those first. So what we do, let's move this off to the side, and it might get a little bit messy at first. So what I tend to do is around characters' feet or in certain areas on the base to start off with, I'll put the basing material on quite thickly like this, and then a few extra little areas, say up in the corner there, and maybe a bit there. It's good to vary the sizes of stuff so it doesn't look all uniform, and sometimes you want to just kind of take it off the edge of the base as well, so it looks like that isn't just a feature that's exclusive to this little area, but it would carry on. And you can often, if you've got models that line up, you might have another base where you literally carry that feature straight onto the next base to give it a nice kind of uniform look. That's good if you're going to rank stuff up in the same way every time. So the next step is we get the little Battlefeild Rocks, and I just sprinkle a few in and on to those areas like this. Now this glue does take a little while to dry. I tend to leave it overnight when I'm actually intending to like prime, so I'll do this before I go to bed one night, and then the next day I can come in, I can prime the models and take a brush straight to this stuff, which is cool. So there we go, that's your kind of main areas of rocks there. So we'll put the lid back on for now. In fact, what I'll just do, because what I tend to do is actually use just a few extras. So then we go back to the Pva Glue stage. I'm hoping I've got enough time on the battery actually, it's looking a bit low. So if this cuts off fairly suddenly, please forgive me. So you see I just put the rest of the glue, a fairly thin layer around the rest of the base here, like this. So the whole base is covered in Pva Glue. And then this stage is up to you, but you might want to make it look a little bit more natural just by dropping on 1 or 2 of the Battlefeild Rocks like that. That just breaks up the appearance of all the kind of the large areas of it, and it helps if you pop your brush into some water there. So now the next step is you get your sand. This is my unique little sand mix of various sands I've bought over the years. It's actually getting quite low now, so I'm going to need to stock up on sand, but you literally just dip this in like that. There's a few larger lumps, so just make sure you get all of the PVA glue there, and then once everything's got a bit of glue on it, just tap it off. And what I do is I run my finger along the edge of the rim just to make sure there's no glue or basing material stuck to the edge, because that can make a base look really messy if your basing material does go over the edge. Even if it's just a couple of bits of sand, it can look a little bit dodgy, so it's worth taking the time just to run your finger around. It's only PVA glue, so it's quite safe, and you might see, as I've got a little bit there where there's not any stuff, so you just pop a little bit more glue into that space, just dunk it in, and then use your finger to smooth that off. So there you go, that's basically the first stage of the bases. At this point I'm normally pretty happy with that, and then I prime it. My battery is about to die on the thing, so I'm going to leave this video here, and I'll come back when it's dry and I'll have primed it black, and then I'll show you the next stage. I might even prime it brown to save some time, but yeah, look out for the second part of this tutorial video very soon. Thanks for watching, see you again soon. Bye!